Welcome to Oweleketv. We bring you highlights of top stories that made the rounds this week. I'm Confidence Oko.
And I am Hadiza Galadima.
Thank you for joining us. On Thursday, the Court of Appeal refuted the news about a member of the five-member panel responsible for handling petitions seeking to nullify President Bola Tinubu's election resigning. A high-ranking court official speaking to Vanguard newspaper dismissed the information as fake news, attributing it to evil rumormongers. The source, who requested anonymity due to lacking authorization to speak to the press, asserted that such an incident never occurred. Contrarily, the circulating fake news on social media claimed that Justice Ugo, a member of the Presidential Election Petition Court, had resigned from the bench in a surprising and unprecedented move. According to the report, Justice Ugo's decision was prompted by pressure from the executive arm of the government, as he believed it would harm Nigeria's democracy. In a statement, Justice Ugo expressed that aligning with the government's stance in the court matter would result in the death of Nigeria's democracy, emphasizing that he could not remain silent in good conscience. The report also alleged that Justice Ugo revealed being asked about the compromise the independence of the judiciary by ruling in favor of President Tinubu. Additionally, it was claimed that the panel was instructed to suppress evidence and dismiss all petitions against President Tinubu. Earlier, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Kayode Ariwola, had debunked news claiming that he had a telephone conversation with President Tinubu regarding the petition seeking to remove the president from office.
The Anambra State government has revealed that Mmesoma, who forged her UTME result, has been handed over to a psychotherapist for a 3-month guidance and counseling program. This was disclosed by the State Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chumaudi, during a press briefing in Awka on Thursday. According to Chumaudi, Mmesoma will undergo the recommended 3-month therapy as advised by the state panel that investigated the UTME forgery case. The young student from the Anglican Girls Secondary School in Inewi has recently attracted attention when the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board exposed her for manipulating her UTME scores from 249 to 362, forcefully claiming to be the top scorer for the 2023 UTME. After initially denying the forgery allegations and engaging in a back-and-forth exchange with JAMB, Mmesoma eventually admitted the fraudulent act. As a consequence, JAMB imposed a 3-year ban on her. She also appeared before a panel of the House of Representatives in Abuja, where she apologized to the exam body and pleaded for leniency. During the press briefing, the Anambra State Commissioner for Education referred Mmesoma's action as juvenile delinquency, noting that any child could be susceptible to such behavior. Hence, the state government decided not to disregard her entirely to provide her with psychological counseling and therapy. The 3-month psychotherapy class has been approved by the Anambra State Governor, Professor Soludo, and after its completion, the state government plans to appeal to JAMB management on her behalf to reconsider certain aspects of her case.
Moving on. The Independent National Electoral Commission has informed the Presidential Election Petitions Court in Abuja that it had no knowledge of an over 20-year-old United States District Court judgment that ordered President Bola Tinubu to forfeit $460,000 suspected to be proceeds of narcotics trade. INEC stated that this case was not brought to its attention before the 2023 presidential election. The Commission's lead counsel, A.B. Mahmood, SAN, filed a final written address countering the petition by the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. Obi's legal team, led by Dr. Livy Uzoku, SAN, argued in the petition seeking Tinubu's removal that he was ineligible to contest the presidential election as he had been fined $460,000 for an offense involving narcotics trafficking by the United States District Court. They presented the case titled United States of America versus Plaintiff Funds in Account 263226700 held by First Heritage Bank in the name of Bola Tinubu. In the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division as evidence. The petitioners urged the PEPC to disqualify Tinubu based on this ground and made other prayers. However, INEC's lead counsel, Mahmood, argued in the final written address that the forfeiture order was not brought to the Commission's attention before the election, especially by the petitioners. He pointed out that according to the 1999 Constitution, a fine that disqualifies a presidential candidate must be associated with a court sentence. Mahmood further contended that the 1999 Constitution requires a disqualifying factor of a fine for a presidential candidate to be linked to a sentence.
A bill aiming to establish the Bitumen Development Commission passes its first reading in the Senate on Thursday. The bill, sponsored by Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, seeks to officially regulate bitumen exploration, development, and exportation. Senator Ibrahim emphasized that this move will support the government's efforts to diversify the economy, stating that bitumen could become an alternative source of revenue for Nigeria. He highlighted that the Nigerian possesses the second largest bitumen deposit globally, with Canada being the only country ahead. According to the draft bill, he proposed commission will be situated in 13 towns in Ondo State with significant bitumen deposits: Odeirele, Agbabu, and Igbatako. Additionally, the Bitumen Development Commission, if established as outlined in the bill, will play a vital role in facilitating road infrastructure projects nationwide and generate employment opportunities, particularly for geologists whose expertise would be essential in the exploration process. Senator Ibrahim expressed hope that if the legislation successfully passes in both the Senate and the House of Representatives and receives presidential assent, it will be the first law in Nigeria governing the exploration, development, and potential exportation of bitumen.
Moving on to other stories, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has brought a 25-count charge against former Minister of Aviation, Senator Stella Oduah, before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Oduah, who served as Aviation Minister from 2011 to 2014, is accused of laundering about 7.9 billion public funds in collaboration with 8 others. The co-defendants in the case are Gloria Odita Nwosu, Emmanuel Nnamdi, Chukwuma Irene Chinyere, Global Offshore and Marine Limited, Tip Top Global Resources Limited, Crystal Television Limited, and Sobora International Limited. During the trial before Justice Inyang Eko, the defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges read in open court. The EFCC alleges that in February 2014, Oduah and Odita, who was identified as her aide and the company's secretary to Sea Petroleum and Gas Company Limited, used their position to transfer the sum of over 1.6 billion naira from INEC Security Nigeria Limited to Global Offshore and Marine Limited, knowing that the money formed part of the proceeds of an unlawful act. The defendants were accused of opening a Naira Anonymous Private Banking Nominee account and the United States Dollar Anonymous Private Banking Nominee account, both constituting offenses under the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended. Justice Eko allowed the defendants to go home on administrative bail previously granted by the EFCC and directed the EFCC to transfer the case file to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation for diligent prosecution. It should be noted that the charge was filed in 2020, but the EFCC could not arraign the defendants due to a petition they wrote to the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN. Malami had requested a hold on the trial to review the case file, but later gave the EFCC permission to proceed with the defendant's trial. The case is adjourned till the 17th of October for trial.
The organized labor has accused the Bola Tinubu-led administration of abandoning the Presidential Steering Committee established to develop palliatives and alleviate the adverse effects of the subsidy removal, which has negatively impacted Nigerians, especially workers. The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, representing organized labor, called for urgent action from the government to address the prevailing insecurities and transportation difficulties faced by citizens due to the soaring cost of essential services following the removal of fuel subsidy. Dr. Tommy Oko, president of ASCSN and a member of the subcommittee of the Presidential Steering Committee on Cost of Governance, expressed disappointment with the government's handling of the planned palliatives, describing it as dictatorial and disregarding the committee that was formed after threats of strike and mass protests by organized labor. He criticized the government's cash transfer policy, stating that it was influenced by IMF and World Bank, and emphasized that such an approach would not effectively address the economic changes.
And that's it on Oweleketv News today. Please follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Oweleketv. Our website is oweleke.tv. I am Confidence Oko.
And I am Hadiza Galadima. Thanks for watching.